Hi guys. We all know the fearless Rani Lakshmibai, the queen who fought bravely against the British. But did you know? Nearly 50 years before her, there was another queen. A warrior queen. Who didn't just fight the British. She defeated them. A queen whose courage burned like fire. A queen who turned grief into revenge. A queen who reclaimed her kingdom with strategy, bravery, and sacrifice. Today, we are going to witness the powerful history of the great queen, Velu Nachiyar. The rise of a warrior princess. Born in the royal house of Ramanathapuram, Velu Nachiyar was the only child of the royal family. But she was not raised like an ordinary princess. Instead of jewels and luxury, she was trained with weapons. She mastered archery, horse riding, and the ancient Tamil martial art Silambam. She was also a brilliant scholar, fluent in multiple languages, including Tamil and Persian. As she grew, destiny led her to marry Muthu Vajaganatha Periyavadaya Tevar, the ruler of Sivaganga. And soon, Velu Nachiyar became the Queen of Sivaganga. The British betrayal. Peace did not last long. The skies over Sivaganga soon darkened with betrayal. In the year 1772, a ruthless invasion was launched by the powerful British East India Company, joining hands with the Nawab of Arcot. It was not just a battle. It was a storm of destruction. The sacred grounds of Kalayur Koval became a river of blood and sacrifice. Swords clashed. Cannons roared. And the air trembled with cries of war. Amid the chaos stood the brave king, Muthu Vajaganatha Periyavadaya Tevar, fighting fearlessly to protect his land, but fate was cruel. The king fell, struck down in battle, leaving behind a shattered kingdom and a grieving queen. The kingdom of Sivaganga was seized. The palace, silenced. The people, terrified. For a moment, the world around Velu Nachiyar collapsed. She had lost her husband, her kingdom, her peace. But she did not collapse in fear, she did not surrender. With tears burning in her eyes and fire rising in her heart, Rani Velu Nachiyar made a decision. Not to run away, but to return stronger. She escaped into the shadows of the night. Not as a defeated queen, but as a warrior preparing for revenge. Carrying grief in her heart and vengeance in her soul, she vanished into exile, only to rise again, stronger than ever. 8 years of exile and alliance. For 8 long years, the queen lived away from her throne, far from the royal palace of Sivaganga. But make no mistake, she was not hiding. She was forging her comeback. Like fire burning silently beneath ashes, Rani Velu Nachiyar spent every single day preparing for war. Every sunrise became a training ground. Every night became a planning table. She gathered loyal warriors, built secret networks, and strengthened her courage into an unbreakable weapon. Her grief did not weaken her. It sharpened her. Then came the moment that would change her destiny forever. She sought the support of Hyder Ali, the mighty ruler of the kingdom of Mysore. A king known for his strength. A warrior respected across kingdoms. When Hyder Ali met Velu Nachiyar, he did not just see a grieving queen. He saw a burning storm of courage. Impressed by her fearless spirit, and amazed by her ability to speak Persian with confidence, Hyder Ali made a bold decision. He stood beside her. He offered thousands of soldiers, powerful weapons, and full military support. The fallen queen was rising again. Her army began to grow. Her strength returned. And her enemies unknowingly moved closer to their fate. The queen who had lost everything was now preparing to take everything back. Because this was not exile. This was preparation for revenge. The master strategy, the mind of a warrior queen. Rani Velu Nachiyar understood one powerful truth. Strength alone could not win this war. The enemy had guns, cannons, and trained soldiers of the mighty British East India Company. Charging blindly into battle would mean certain defeat. No. This war needed something far more powerful than weapons. It needed strategy. Not loud strength, but silent intelligence. Not reckless anger, but calculated revenge. During this crucial stage, the queen joined hands with the legendary warriors. Maruthu brothers. Masters of battlefield tactics. Experts in guerrilla warfare. Warriors who knew how to strike fast and disappear like shadows. Together, they did not rush into war. Instead, they rebuilt an army from ashes. They trained warriors day and night. Sharpened swords. Strengthened discipline. And turned ordinary villagers into fearless fighters. But the queen did something even more extraordinary. She broke tradition. She challenged limits. She changed history. She created a special women's military force. Known as the Udayal Regiment. Women who refused to stay behind. Women who chose swords over fear. Women who stood shoulder to shoulder with men on the battlefield. This was not just an army. It was a revolution. Then came her greatest weapon. Her knowledge of the land. Every forest. Every river. Every hidden path. She knew them all. Using regions like Manmadurai. She designed clever surprise attacks. Striking the enemy from unexpected directions. Ambushes in narrow paths. Sudden attacks in the night. Swift retreats before the enemy could react. The British soldiers grew confused. Their strength slowly weakened. Their confidence began to crack. Every attack was not random. Every move was calculated. Every decision planned like a chess master moving pieces across the board. Every step brought the queen closer to reclaiming Sivaganga. This was no longer just preparation. This was the calm before the storm. The final battle and victory. Then came the moment that would change history forever. After years of patience, years of planning, years of burning with revenge, Rani Velu Nachiyar was ready to strike. This was not just a battle. This was justice. She knew the enemy's greatest strength was their weapons. Stored deep inside the heavily guarded British ammunition depot. To win this war, that depot had to be destroyed. But reaching it meant certain death. And that is when a warrior stepped forward. Her name was Kiili, the queen's most loyal commander. A warrior whose courage burned brighter than fear. When the queen revealed the dangerous mission, there was silence in the camp. A silence filled with fear, uncertainty, and the weight of sacrifice. Then Kiili stepped ahead. With eyes full of determination, and a heart filled with loyalty. She bowed before her queen. Not in fear, but in devotion. She knew this mission had no return. Yet, she did not hesitate. Because for Kiili, her queen, her land, and her people were worth more than her own life. On the night of the attack, under the dark silent sky, Kiili prepared herself for the ultimate sacrifice. She poured oil over her body, turning herself into a living flame. Not as a victim, but as a weapon. A weapon of courage. A weapon of sacrifice. With fire in her heart, and loyalty in her soul, she entered the British ammunition store. And in that final moment, without fear, without turning back, she set herself on fire. Her body became a blazing torch of sacrifice. As she leaped into the ammunition depot. In the next second, a massive explosion shook the battlefield. Cannons burst. Gunpowder ignited. Weapons shattered into flames. The British camp fell into chaos. Smoke filled the air. Fear spread among enemy soldiers. Confusion swallowed their ranks, and at that very moment, when the enemy was lost in panic, Rani Velu Nachiyar gave the final command. Attack. Her army roared like thunder, storming forward with unstoppable fury. Swords flashed. War cries echoed. The ground trembled beneath their charge. This was no longer revenge. This was victory in motion. The enemy forces collapsed. Their weapons destroyed. Their defenses broken. And at last, the proud kingdom of Sivaganga was reclaimed. The queen stood victorious. Not just as a ruler, but as a symbol of courage. Victory was hers. Victory was earned through sacrifice. Victory was written in fire. The legacy, the queen who became history. With unmatched courage. With brilliant intelligence. And with a heart that refused to surrender. Rani Velu Nachiyar achieved what many believed was impossible. She became the first Indian queen to successfully wage war against the mighty British East India Company. And win. Not just fight. Not just resist. But defeat them and reclaim her kingdom. After victory, she did not rule with anger. She ruled with wisdom. For nearly 10 more years. She rebuilt the proud kingdom of Sivaganga. She restored peace to her people, strengthened her army, protected her land, and ensured that her kingdom would never again fall into enemy hands so easily. The queen who once walked in exile now walked among her people as their protector. Not just a ruler, but a guardian of her land. As years passed, she prepared the next generation to lead. With wisdom and foresight, she passed the throne to her beloved daughter, ensuring that the flame of Sivaganga would continue to burn bright. Her journey was no longer just about war. It had become a story of leadership, sacrifice, and vision. Even today, centuries later, her name still echoes through the pages of Indian history. In the stories of courage, in the songs of warriors, in the pride of a nation. Rani Velu Nachiyar stands tall. Not just as a queen, but as a legend. A symbol of courage. A symbol of resistance. A symbol of an unbreakable spirit. Her story reminds us that even in the darkest times, one brave heart can change the fate of history forever. Guys, during my school days, I never knew about Rani Velu Nachiyar. Not because she wasn't brave. Not because her story wasn't powerful. But because many such heroes were never fully spoken about in our history lessons. There are still many warriors, many queens, many fearless souls, whose sacrifices remain hidden in the silent pages of history. Heroes who fought. Heroes who sacrificed. Heroes who gave everything, so that their land could stand strong. So today, we have one simple duty. To remember their names. To speak about their courage. To share their stories. And to make sure their sacrifices are never forgotten. Because history is not just about kings and empires. It is about the brave hearts who refuse to bow. So today, let us remember the name Rani Velu Nachiyar, and keep her legacy alive for generations to come.